Hello, this is Eva Clark of Healing Multiple Sclerosis. We are now at the halfway mark of the MS Personality series. You now know more about what's behind MS than most anyone else diagnosed. Even just after the second video that I produced, one of the participants of this series shared with me that she had gone to a restaurant and met another woman recently diagnosed with MS, and she could totally see the MS personality. That is huge to start being able to identify and understanding that. Let's do a review of what those key personality traits are. The 5 key traits of the MS personality. The first, the need to be strong, independent, and not ask for help. And when you help someone else, you will bend over backwards to help them. The second is a not enough meter. Always feeling like you've never done enough, that you could have done more, that you could have done better. The third, this feeling that your worth depends on your achievements, on your performance, on what you do. If you do more, you're worth more. If you don't do anything, you have no worth. So there's this compulsive doing, and there's this inability, I can't stop. Fourth, you're always trying to do it the right way. You're even surprised that other people aren't doing it the right way. So decision-making is very much based on what you think other people expect of you, and based on trying to always do it right and getting it perfect. So there's very high standards. And lastly, there is always a very harsh inner critic. You have learned that you are really good at these traits, or else you wouldn't have done them. You've also heard from me that these traits are actually not who you are, though it feels like it. We weren't born with these traits. You learn to do these things. How did you learn to do these things? Very, very early in childhood, what happens is if you don't get your needs met because mother is stressed or having a crisis or has a lot of more other kids, or there's a infidelity, or maybe her father died, when you were in her womb and it's not emotionally available, there's a break in the bond and the child really doesn't get its needs met. And so the child tries to A, not have any needs and be very independent, and B, try to meet your needs, because if you're okay, then I'm okay. Secondly, is one of the developmental stages is about learning how to do things right? We're being taught by parents, by school, this is how you do this. And in this case, what happens is you stay in that level, always trying to do it right, always trying to do it correct, trying to get acknowledgement of a job well done, rather than learning the next level of development, which is to do it your way, the way you feel like it, the way you like it, rather than the way that is right. And thirdly, the thing that really cranks up all of this is the experience of needing to take care of a parent when you were a child. For example, your mother that was super stressed about or grieving or having a mental breakdown, or father's alcoholic and mother can't cope with it, then the child tries to soothe, like an adult, their mother, for example. So there's a third piece that we talk about more in detail in the previous recording of having to have been a little adult. Why is it important that we spend time really understanding these traits and understanding where they might have come from? Well, I remember one of my NLP teachers, Richard Bandler, he says, if you have an hour to do a session, spend 45 minutes trying to really figuring out what the real issue is. And then once you really get to the heart of what's going on, then you can make change in the last 15 minutes. So what we're really doing right now is really understanding what's behind all those stressors of MS and really understanding how are they formed. Now, firstly, as I've mentioned before, these traits are kind of your superpowers. They feel like them, right? Because you've been living this way, you are a hard worker. You kick ass, you get the job done, and you will always deliver 110%. You are always there when someone else needs you, come rain or shine. You're good at controlling things and organizing them months even in advance, and you'll make sure things don't get out of hand. You're very self-reliant and independent, and you will figure it out. You're good at anticipating and meeting other people's needs. Your clients love you. And you have very satisfied customers because you can anticipate what they need. You are mindful of what you say and how it comes across. So you're very good with words. And you do quality work because you are striving for perfection. You are pursuing doing the best, and you can be counted on for that. There's just a problem with this. Let's explore what gets lost and what happens if this is how we live. We're not going to get rid of these traits, but what we want to do is recover, add on traits that will balance these traits. For example, if you imagine that you're a racehorse, you can go faster than anyone, harder than anyone. You're really good. You outperform every time. As the owner of the racehorse, you cannot put this horse in a race every single day. You need to allow the horse to rest, send it out to pasture to play with the butterflies. Because what happens if you keep pushing that racehorse with that inner critic to do more and better and better? For one, you will burn out that racehorse. What happens if you always had to be a little adult? You don't get to play. You don't get to go play with the butterflies and be out in pasture and frolic. What happens if you always felt that if you didn't do it, it'll never get done or never get done properly? You're never off the clock. What happens if you believe you have to work hard all the time in order to be worthy or enough? Again, you're never off. I had clients that were number one in their department. And even then they always felt like, but what if tomorrow I don't do enough? Right? What happens when your needs are not fully met? You actually are not working at your best. Imagine this. It's like you're working as if you are a new vice president of a company, and you get to your job the first week and they don't have a computer for you. You'll manage. They don't have pencils for you either. Oh, okay, I have a broken pencil in my purse. Oh, but they don't have this or that. You cannot do your best work if you do not fulfill your needs. What happens if you don't feel safe to say no to people? You end up doing so many things that are not necessary, that are not productive to where you want to be, who you want to be, what you want to be doing in life. Again, burnout, burnout, burnout. What happens when you do things the right way or the way that others expect of you all the time? It boxes you in. You don't do it the way you want to do it. Your signature, your flavor, Who you are doesn't appear in your work because you're not doing it your way. You're doing it the right way or the way that you expect. So in essence, you burn out your nervous system and you lose you. Your needs, your desires, your personal talents outside these coping strategies, your personal viewpoint. You get buried under a facade that is focused on what we think others expect, on other people's needs, on outer appearance and outer achievement.